Valerie Bertinelli and Eddie Van Halen were once hailed as one of the most iconic couples of the 1980s, a union that bridged two distinct realms of American entertainment, television and rock music. For decades, they were the perfect picture of glamour and fame, with Valerie representing the wholesome charm of Hollywood television and Eddie embodying the wild, electrifying energy of rock stardom. Their relationship lasted nearly 30 years, but despite appearances, it eventually came to a quiet end. For nearly 20 years, the reasons behind their separation remained shrouded in secrecy. It was only when Valerie decided to share her story that the public began to understand the darker realities of their marriage. Reflecting on her decades-long connection with Eddie, she admitted, "I knew the man for 40 years. I was 20 when I met him. I still loved him." Valerie first crossed paths with Eddie Van Halen in 1980. At the time, she had already gained recognition for her role as Barbara Cooper on the popular TV series One Day at a Time. Her career was thriving, and she was widely regarded as Hollywood's good girl, admired for her professionalism and charm. Eddie, on the other hand, was ascending the heights of rock fame as the lead guitarist of Van Halen, a band known for its electrifying hits like Jump in Panama, as well as sold-out stadium concerts that thrilled audiences worldwide. Their worlds were remarkably different. Valerie's life revolved around a stable, family-friendly television environment, while Eddie thrived in the chaotic, unpredictable realm of rock music. Their meeting came after an interview, and Eddie was immediately captivated by Valerie's radiant smile. They began dating quickly, and their connection deepened despite the contrasts in their personalities and lifestyles. On April 11, 1981, they married in a private ceremony in California, a union that garnered public fascination precisely because of the stark contrast between their worlds. At the time of their marriage, Eddie had just completed Fair Warning, one of Van Halen's most intense and critically acclaimed albums, characterized by its heavy riffs and emotional rawness. Valerie, meanwhile, continued to build her television career, balancing work commitments with the demands of married life. Their schedules often left little time to nurture their relationship, yet Valerie made efforts to immerse herself in Eddie's world, accompanying him on tour in an attempt to blend his rock lifestyle with the expectations of a traditional marriage. 10 years into their marriage, in 1991, they welcomed their first son, Wolfgang Van Halen. Valerie has often described the birth of Wolfgang as the most joyous moment of her life, a time when she hoped to solidify her family's bond. She recalled, "I had a million girls' names, but I just had Wolfgang, and he totally fits his name." Following his birth, Valerie made the conscious decision to step back from long-term projects to dedicate herself to raising her son, managing her responsibilities as a mother, wife, and public figure while still maintaining her presence in Hollywood. Life with a young child alongside a globally famous rocker was far from simple. Valerie often described this period as living two separate lives under one roof. Eddie's unpredictable lifestyle frequently caused him to miss significant family moments, creating emotional strain and challenging Valerie's ability to maintain stability. Despite these obstacles, she remained committed to holding the family together through the 1990s, enduring his serious health issues and erratic behavior. Outwardly, they presented themselves as a happy, functional family, attending events and public functions together. However, behind closed doors, their marriage was deteriorating. The strain became public in October 2001, when the couple confirmed their separation. After 6 years, their divorce was finalized on December 20, 2007, bringing an end to 26 years of marriage. Remarkably, they managed to navigate this difficult transition quietly, avoiding the sensationalism that often accompanies celebrity divorces. In the years following the divorce, Valerie maintained a low profile. She concentrated on her television career, published cookbooks, and focused on raising Wolfgang in a secure, nurturing environment. Eddie, by contrast, withdrew from the public eye, grappling with declining health and the waning momentum of his career. It was not until 2008, with the publication of her memoir, Losing It, that Valerie began to publicly recount the challenges she faced during their marriage. In the book, she revealed that Eddie had struggled with cocaine addiction, daily alcohol consumption, and a lack of self-restraint that often left her feeling as though she was living with an addiction rather than a partner. One of the most painful aspects of their marriage, she revealed, was Eddie's refusal to stop smoking, even after being diagnosed with mouth cancer and having a third of his tongue removed. She viewed his continued indulgence in alcohol and tobacco as a slow form of self-destruction. "I loved his soul," she wrote, "but I hated his alcohol and drugs, not him." Valerie also disclosed that she had engaged in an affair during a particularly trying period of their marriage. She felt abandoned and longed for affection that she could not find at home. Eddie, meanwhile, had his own extramarital relationships, especially while on tour, and the couple's inability to address their issues openly led to long stretches of silence and growing emotional distance. By the early 2000s, Valerie's mental health had begun to suffer under the weight of these challenges. She developed an eating disorder, gained weight, and increasingly withdrew from public appearances. In a candid interview with Oprah, she shared that after the separation, she largely remained at home, avoiding friends and family while focusing on raising her son. "I lost control inside and out," she said. It wasn't just the end of a marriage. It was the end of the illusion that love could save someone. By 2022, after years of therapy and sobriety, Valerie had gained a sense of clarity and acceptance that allowed her to reflect on her life with perspective. Her second memoir, Enough Already, captured her journey with honesty and no defensiveness. She described her marriage as simultaneously beautiful and ravaged, acknowledging that marrying at a young age had left both of them unprepared for the pressures of fame, addiction, and isolation. She recognized that much of her effort to appear as a strong wife had been a facade, an attempt to shield herself from judgment while navigating the complexities of their life together. In 2024, following the release of a behind-the-music documentary about Van Halen produced by Wolfgang, Valerie took to Instagram to make a candid revelation. Eddie was not her soulmate. "I was in love with an idealized version of him," she admitted. "I was ready to play the grieving widow, but the truth is we hadn't been a couple for 20 years. These comments sparked widespread conversation. Many praised Valerie's courage in speaking openly about addiction and the challenges of maintaining a relationship under extreme circumstances, while others expressed concern that her honesty might overshadow Eddie's legacy as a legendary musician. Valerie clarified her intentions, stating, "I'm not sharing this to diminish anyone. I'm sharing it so people like me don't have to stay silent." She emphasized that, despite the difficulties, there were moments of genuine connection in their marriage. Even after their divorce, Valerie and Eddie maintained a respectful relationship for the sake of their son, Wolfgang. They attended family milestones together and supported him when he joined Van Halen as the band's bassist in 2006. Valerie was also present during Eddie's battle with throat cancer in 2019 and remained by his side when he passed away on October 6, 2020. In her tribute, she expressed gratitude for having been able to witness his final moments, sharing that despite their separation, a form of love endured between them. Following Eddie's death, Valerie navigated new personal challenges. She had married Tom Batali in January 2011, with both Eddie and Wolfgang present, but the marriage eventually ended in separation by late 2021, citing irreconcilable differences. During this time, she committed herself to her memoir, Enough Already, embraced sobriety, and implemented lifestyle changes to focus on her own well-being. In March 2024, she announced a relationship with writer Mike Goodnight, appearing publicly for the first time at the Daytime Emmy Awards in June. By November of that year, the relationship had ended, with Valerie attributing the split to external factors rather than a lack of love, and both parties expressed mutual respect and understanding. Reflecting on her experiences, Valerie noted in March 2025, "I've been in 2 marriages where I tried too hard. I realized that loving others can't fill the emptiness within myself." Her openness about her struggles resonated with many middle-aged women navigating life after divorce. She also spoke candidly about her mental health challenges, including severe anxiety that had forced her to take breaks from work, and she became a passionate advocate for mental health awareness in the entertainment industry. At 65, Valerie has redefined herself beyond the labels of Eddie Van Halen's ex-wife or a 1980s television star. She has focused on living life on her own terms. Her long-running show Valerie's Home Cooking concluded in 2023 after 8 seasons, and she also stepped away from Kids Baking Championship, seeing these transitions as natural evolutions in her career. In September 2024, she returned to television as a lifestyle contributor on The Drew Barrymore Show, concentrating on post-divorce wellness, mental health, and healthy habits rather than cooking or traditional talk show formats. Her social media presence shifted as well, from professional updates to personal reflections, including a viral video in November 2024 documenting a panic attack that garnered millions of views. Valerie's bond with Wolfgang remains strong. She frequently attends his concerts and supports his musical endeavors. On her 65th birthday, she reflected on self-acceptance, noting, "The light at the end of the tunnel appears when you stop and turn toward yourself." While she has not announced retirement, Valerie no longer seeks external validation, instead focusing on her own growth and well-being. Her journey represents breaking free from societal expectations and contrasts sharply with the pressures she experienced during her marriage to Eddie Van Halen. Though Eddie achieved legendary status in rock music, Valerie carved her own path, leaving a lasting mark in television and personal development. Their story serves as both a cautionary tale and a testament to human resilience, illustrating the limitations of love under pressure and the sacrifices required for personal growth. Eddie Van Halen is remembered for his musical genius and cultural impact, while Valerie Bertinelli represents strength, perseverance, and the ability to reclaim one's life on one's own terms. Together, their lives leave lessons on love, loss, and the enduring pursuit of authenticity. Don't miss out on the latest behind-the-frame stories. Subscribe now.